With all my videos, I would like to create a disclaimer. Harassment isn't cool. If I mention anybody's names in the video, harassment, not cool. I do always try to replace names with pseudonyms, pseudonames, nicknames, simple shit. Mainly because my objective with most of these videos is to tell a story, moral of the story kind of situation. I haven't done one of these in forever, as you can tell, mainly because, well, I haven't encountered a lot of drama until recently. But we'll get to the shebang of what happened recently, but we have to go back to the beginning. Now, on top of the disclaimer, I'd like to mention two things. One, please respect everybody's pronouns within the video, as people identify as multiple different pronouns. Please be respectful. The reason I'm trying to be as nice as possible is I've known this person before they transitioned, and I've known these people before they've transitioned to different pronouns and different gender identities. I'm trying to word this as carefully as possible because I'm not the best at this. I am cis. So, yeah. I'm as white bread, vanilla as it gets. I am the generic Oblivion character, so, yeah. So, I'm going to go to the very beginning and give you the TLDR of at least the fallout of a friendship that we've had. Now, this is gonna seem like a whole ass Oblivion quest, so sit your ass down, get some popcorn, listen to the beautiful soundtrack of Oblivion. I would totally put the music of Oblivion in the video, but I would like some monetization, so I'll try to find something similar. Cool? Maybe I can put it in there. I probably don't get monetization now anyway, because I don't upload as often, so, Now, the pseudonym of this person we're gonna call Nova. Me and a couple of friends of ours, we've known Nova since I was in high school. And that's almost 10 years ago. I've known them since I was at least a junior in high school. So, yeah, about 10 plus years ago. To continue, around this time, I want to say this is around 2020, 2021. A whole bunch of things are going on. Around this time, we have just fell out of another attempt at friendship with Nova's ex. Understand, Nova don't control us. We're just trying to give the benefit of the doubt and be nice and cordial with Nova's ex, Coin. Yeah, you recognize that name? There's gonna be a lot of names you're going to recognize in this video. This is literally you know how there's Marvel Avengers Civil War and there's all the different crossover, the different characters? Yeah, this is that video. But of all my different story times. Nova basically got upset at us for trying to befriend said ex. I wasn't a huge fan of the said ex's girlfriend, as you can obviously tell if that video is still standing. And yeah, all sorts of things go on. There's an uppity going on in the server because said ex tried to have the police called on me. It's a hilarious thing, and we call it the hose mad situation. Mainly because this person got so angry at all of us, they were like, I'm gonna have you guys called for slander. Yeah, that was just right after that, by the way. It was literally a month after that, we're all talking, and I set up a stream server for a friend, Nova. They basically thank me for setting up a server, and Nova wants to try to get into VTubing. But it's a reoccurring thing that at my job while I was working at the pharmacy, I'd come home and literally as soon as I joined voice chat, all I hear is the constant bitching and complaining and it was getting tiring. Because as I just started my job at the pharmacy, listen, hearing your friends bitch when they got no job, no responsibilities, it just kind of got under my skin. Especially when I just started that job, my feet were hurting, my job just kind of got under my skin because on top of that, I would have to hear the, why aren't you refilling my pills? And, this isn't right, when I'm a new person. So when I'm hearing fatherless behavior on the internet, it sucks, you know? So let's continue. An interesting encounter happens when we're all finally, like, gathered up. I'm talking about D&D things, as usual. And I'm basically explaining, hey, we're gonna try and plan for next session, yada yada. After I just set up this new, shiny server, and my friends explaining their streams, basically, like, common server talk. I'm trying to lay the land for you, because out of nowhere, I could literally just be, like, talking about life, and all of a sudden, oh my god, did you see what the tuna posted on Twitter? Yeah, lore drop, by the way. The first person in my ever video, I'm gonna talk about him real quick. So, they apologized to us. We'll just call him the tuna. He apologized to a bunch of the shitty things he did. We apologized about all the shitty things we did. But Nova still held that grudge. I understand that it's not our place to judge when a grudge is held. But when it's over stupid shit, yeah. Like, come here. This is the part where I bring in the criticism fairy. Because, okay, Jimmy, let me sit your bitch ass down. Now, understand when you come to your own volition, find an account I don't have you blocked on just to apologize. That takes guts. That takes chutzpah. And, Tuna, if you're watching this video, I greatly appreciate that you did that, because honestly, a lot of us appreciate that you did that. However, we're here to talk about Nova. Now, Nova is a different story. Throwing a tantrum anytime they'd see the tuna on their fucking Twitter or TikTok, or was he even on TikTok? I don't even know. Basically just anywhere on social media, and throwing a mini tantrum and basically pissing themselves. Just, well, I saw them in my Facebook feed. Yeah. I'm sorry, when I'm working 8+ hours at a pharmacy, hearing old people complain why they haven't got their fucking Viagra. Shut your bitch ass up. I finally had enough. I will admit I snapped. I basically told them, look, if you want to keep your peace, if you are tired of a person, whether it be this person, that person, this person, and that person, block, mute, do whatever you have to do to keep your peace. They didn't like what I had to say. Now understand that they would do this rant with multiple different people. You know how I said this was the crossover episode? Let me explain what other people I have to mention. They would do this with the first person, the tuna. They would do this with Frat, Coin, their ex. And they would do this with competitor that has not even been mentioned. We'll call him Lieutenant Dan. What 4 people have in common with this one person is apparently this one person has had a crush on all 4 of these men and or other identified gendered. I don't know if they identify as anything else. So for now, I will just call them men. I don't know if they identify as anything else right now, so that's just me. As of last time checking, I do know that at least 3 of them go as men. I don't know about Coin. Coin is an odd case where the accounts just kind of disappeared. Coin and his thing just kind of changed personas like every 2 weeks, so I don't know. So, I'll just... men, in quotation. They have either been rejected and or just passed off by these men. And, they took that personally. Very personally. Now, don't get me wrong, past things were in the past. A lot of shitty things were done between these 2 groups of people. And don't get me wrong, this is why I bring up past things. Because we were part of a huge giant ass group of friends, and a lot of shitty things were done back and forth. Because, you know, edgy humor was a lot of part of this group. But if I can get over my persona being photoshopped on the fucking caterpillar from Bug's Life, which, by the way, I'm a beautiful little butterfly. That is funny ass shit right there. I should have saw that as the funniest fucking humor. Because, like, I got over that and had to giggle because I have one of those memes saved, by the way. It is funny as shit. And I laugh at it sometimes because I'm like, look at me, I'm a beautiful little butterfly. But to Nova, it was awful because don't get me wrong. I'm in a trigger warning here. I'm not going to go into what exactly, but we're just trigger warning here. Because I'm not saying none of these men did it, by the way. None of these specific men did it. But one of the friends to one of these men, casually made fun of people's physical disabilities. Which, that, personally, Nova has every right to hold that grudge. But the main grudge wasn't even that, per se. Just even seeing their names on the internet was a problem. Just seeing them having a good time or living their best life. Like, excuse me while I'm clicking my pen. I had to literally, like, write out my ideas on paper because every time I would go to record this video, I could not keep my thoughts straight. But every time they would see these fuckers living their best life, they just wanted their downfall. And I'm like, that's not healthy. And that's why I had my fucking crash out. Now, I will say at the time, I was contemplating therapy. For personal reasons I won't say, but I was contemplating therapy because I was not living my best life. I was not in a good state of mind. And honestly, I was gonna have a crash out again. And yelling at my friends is not a good idea. The only reason I crashed out then and there was like, I am tired of people who have barely any responsibilities telling me how to fucking wash my own ass, okay? When you can barely reach your own. And I mean this in the metaphorical sense. I am not meaning this in a physical sense, by the way. Basically, if you don't have responsibilities, and then you start tending to your own responsibilities and you can't handle them, you can barely wash your own ass. It kind of pissed us off, and obviously we pissed Nova off, because people agreed with me. People were like, yeah, honestly, if they've apologized and or not interacted with you, why are you wishing their downfall? Like, yeah, honestly, you could look at a shitty human being and go, ew. And honestly, I only respect a few people. Like, say, like, you want the downfall of a certain, I don't know, eat the rich. But, if you catch my drift, I'm not saying you should want the downfall of a one select individual just because the weirdest petty grudge that this has been held on for 6+ years at least, maybe more. It made no sense to me. So a week, about a week goes by. I want to say a week. This is at least giving some sort of sense to the situation. Then I get a message from my friend that we were demodded from the server. And I'm like, I'm gonna what now? My friend throws a tantrum. Like, literally, Nova goes full on demodding the whole staff. This included me, a friend of mine I will deem Bumblebee, a friend of mine I will deem Batgirl, and a couple of other fucks that I didn't give a shit about. And honestly, I found it odd. Just a few moments after a crash out in my server, you decide to do this. And then I'm blocked. No means of communication between me or Nova. Just blocked. I was very confused. Because personally, I wasn't rude about it. Or at least I don't think I was rude. I just kind of sat there because literally the day after that crash out, we were talking witchy shit. And crystals. And deities and shit. Like, listen, I'm into my witchy shit. I'm in my witchy arc. I'm living my best life. So I'm just kind of sitting there like, I'm very confused here. I go to Bumblebee and I talk to Bumblebee. Because I was just like, what the fuck is going on in there? Because 1, I'm not in the server no more. 2, I'm blocked. And 3, I had a failsafe. And apparently they removed my failsafe. Because from my personal experience, when I make a server for someone, I have a failsafe. Every time. Just in case the owner gets hacked. I make myself a secret administrative role, which got removed and deleted. And they became sole owner and sole administrator of the fucking server. Which means, if they get hacked... Excuse me as I play the world's tiniest violin. The reason I have this role is whenever... I've witnessed this way too many times, and actually recently with people's servers where they created. The owner gets hacked, things happen, and now no one has any executive orders and or roles in the server, because Discord basically goes, well, you're fucked. But, when I do this, it is also from back when we made a server for someone and they decided to be a little shit. So we can also do the self-destruct sequence. Not to hold it over anyone's head, but basically if someone does a fucky wucky and things get too shitty, basically we can say, y'all need to settle down. Behave yourselves. We have the finger on the big red button. The in case of Charles button. Poor Charles is like mentioned in every video of mine. But let's continue, shall we? So I was very confused. I messaged Bumblebee. And Bumblebee is sitting there like, I was demodded too. But I left the server because Bumblebee was very uncomfortable with, you know, people in the server. So I was like, oh, okay. I was like, but still, can you get a hold of Nova? And Bumblebee's like, yeah, let's get a hold of Nova. So we talked to Nova. And let me grab the screenshot. I'm gonna have to edit it for purposes. But the screenshot is as follows. Mountain Dew, my best friend. Let's see. Going back in my Discord messages, by the way, to Bumblebee, I did call the demodding, ironically, because of my crash out. I called it, not gonna lie, mainly because they got pissed off because I also called the one of the rejections. So, oops. I don't know if that on me, but oops. So here's one of our beautiful fucking screenshots. This is between Nova and Bumblebee. If you would have stayed in the server, you would have known I demodded everyone and started fresh. And yes, Batgirl became the mod again. Like you would have. But no, you all just assume everything I post is about you guys. The reason I added you and Bugg on everything is because I need space. I'm tired of having panic attacks seeing your guys' names. I'm tired of fighting, so like Bugg says, unfriend, mute, etc., move on. And if I'm being snippy or passive-aggressive, honestly, I'm not, and oh well, I didn't have a problem with you at all. Let me, explain the snippy bit, by the way. For the week we did that, they were being snippy and rude, and also dropped from my D&D because of the snippy bit. I basically said, like, look, if you're gonna be a bitch, we ain't gonna have that negativity in here. And they got ultra snippy. So, yeah. The second set of DM messages was from Bumblebee. Like I said, I left the server because it wasn't even active, and one of your members there is a creep towards me. It didn't have anything to do with you. I didn't even fight with you. If me leaving caused that much of an impact, you clearly have a problem with me. What did you expect us to think when you're making vague posts about leaving everything without a word? Of course everything, or blah blah blah. Dyslexia. Of course everyone is going to assume the worst. If this is how you're going to be and take it out on me just because of this one scuffle between you and Bugg, don't even bother talking to me again. Friends don't just cut each other off like that. Not friends who were just as close as we were for so long. Friends talk about things and bring their problems to each other, which is what Bugg did with the notification issued. They don't just want to stop being friends and turn on each other after one fight. Okay. And, yeah. After that, it was a whole bunch of vague posting about us, and then off they went to be a VTuber star. If I had a nickel. So, ironically, that's pretty much the ending of most of the drama, because we all pretty much stayed away from them. We didn't want to deal with them. Nova basically pissed the whole friend group off because we were all like, look man, it ain't healthy acting like this. Well, here's where my update kicks in. Multiple times, I'd be on TikTok, and out of fucking nowhere, I would get a fucking message and notifications that they were watching my shit. I wasn't even making shit about them. They were just literally like, Lamau, it's hard to explain, but I find it very ironic where I just kind of don't want to deal with them, and they just kind of did their thing. But I got to giggling because they kept watching my shit over time, and this was during the period that we didn't want to deal with them. Now, the way TikTok's algorithm works is one of 3 ways. Of course, depending on when you're watching this, there's a possibility that in the United States, they're trying to ban TikTok. Not the point of this video, but fuck off, United States. So, 1, what pisses us off is that in the algorithm, if you watch a person and they watch your stuff back, yeah, basically their stuff will show up in your feed. I never once watched Nova's content, so I just kind of sit there and I'm like, so how did my stuff end up in their feed? Which is where stuff number 2 goes. They're still friends with one of our friends, Batgirl. My stuff would follow into their feed because I'm friends with their friends, and ta-da. And then there's option number 3, just kind of happened because similar content was being made. Ta-da. So yeah. So this is where things get hilarious. This would happen multiple times where I would notice similar stuff happen being posted, and I'm just giggling because out of nowhere, I'm just like, I don't know why your shit is in my feed. But I have to giggle because I turned around and their stuff is in my feed. My profile views. And I'm like, I don't advertise my stuff because I'm a broke bitch. So I was very worried that TikTok somehow advertised my feed enough that got through the connections and my stuff got to this person, a former friend of mine. So I was like, this is odd. So I'm like, yeah, they're calling up my ass. But the strange part is I don't know how the algorithm works because I've already had them blocked on TikTok since the problem. Like since 2021, and this was happening in the period of time between the recent event and when we dropped them. So this is just something to point out. Just found it odd. It's okay if you want to check to see if someone's okay. I mean, I'm totally... Don't get me wrong. We dropped Tuna, and Tuna dropped us, and I always wanted to make sure he was okay. And there are times that I always checked in on Lieutenant Dan just to be sure, hey, are you alive? Poke him with a stick. And though I may not be friends with Frat or Coin no more, I do at least hope they're living their best lives. I don't check on their content, but I do hope they're living their best lives. But let's continue, shall we? Because this is how it's gonna go. I get hilarious information because, well, the information that I get told is from Batgirl. I'm in a hilarious call with Batgirl and a couple of friends of mine, and Batgirl goes, hey, I got some information for you, girl. And I'm like, huh? So, Batgirl basically tells me, they were still friends with Nova. And I'm like, okay, well, I didn't mind. I understood that they were never gonna drop each other. They were pretty close. Like, literally, Batgirl called Nova their daughter. But, you know, now child. Originally daughter, now child. Excuse my fuck up here. I promise you, it's not on purpose. I was so used to hearing Batgirl say, my child or my daughter. But let's continue, shall we? And then the interesting information came up. Now, we were sitting there having a decent chitter-chatter, and Batgirl goes, hey, you remember Nova, right? And I'm like, sadly. Listen, we were really close with Nova. Like, close enough that I was considering visiting Nova when I was visiting family in another state. Because they lived close enough. But, you know, didn't make sense at the time considering we couldn't drive around to try to drop me off, but let's continue. Well, Batgirl basically goes to explain to me how it's turned sour on their end. I'm not gonna go into the full details because I don't know what all Batgirl would like me to share because that's their business, but I'm gonna tell the gist that's mine. Batgirl gets informed that Nova wants them to send me a message. Batgirl's like, no. I'm gonna stop you right there. Because I don't know if Bugg feels comfortable with me sending you, like, getting a message from you. Like, I'm gonna keep Bugg's peace. They're like, oh, but why not? And again, Bugg's peace. Bugg has made it very clear. She does not want to talk to you. And here's me. Yep. Listen, the reason I don't want to talk to this person no more is because the way they treated me and they treated my friends. Hell, they even treated my enemies better than they've treated me. So, go on. Batgirl then goes to talk to me about how they go to break off their friendship. It's a little rough, but they basically, the gist is they basically tell them, like, they're tired of their treatment as well. The kicker is what Nova goes to say. So you were on Delaney's side. Bitch, Batgirl wasn't on anyone's side. Batgirl was off in La La Land. See, if this was a battleground, alright? If I were to draw a map, okay, and this was a battleground, alright? And if we were in Cyrodiil, she's all the way over here. Alright? You see this? She's all the way in Elsewhere. She had no idea about the huge-ass fight that we were having. Because we tried to be nice and impartial so you could keep the friendship between y'all. But it's kind of hard when you are the one driving people away. I'm not here to air the dirty laundry between them, so I found it funny that apparently my grudge, it apparently was my fault. And that grudge, okay, that happened back in 2021. Let me write down the timeline. We met in 2015. This spans all the way to 2025. However, there's a mini timeline of events where pretty much in 2016 through like 2019. And then there's 2020 through like 2021. There's like little mini timelines in between. But to make a long story fucking short, the grudge that this person fucking held on to was, at least my grudge, was over a span of 4+ fucking years. The grudge that they held on to with other certain people, even longer. 6, maybe even 7 years. Not including the grudge they hold against their fucking ex. So, to make a long story fucking short, that ain't healthy. Of course, it's not my place to tell people when they should do certain things, but all I'm gonna say is that is not healthy. Obviously, if they did something to physically and or mentally harm you, obviously certain grudges I could totally understand. But when most of these men didn't want to fucking date you, ex disincluded, like, the fuck? And when the tuna literally he was barely one of the people that did shit to you. I'm gonna be flat out honest. He did more shit to me, to Bumblebee, and to a couple of other people. And he full-heartedly apologized for, I want to say, like a good 97% of that shit. Mainly because we both did shitty things to each other. We were fucking teenagers. Get a grip. You're older than I am, and I'm 26. I'm turning 27 this year. And of all things you have to hold on to, and you lose one of your best fucking friends that has the audacity to call you your fucking child. Like, you have the audacity to say you're on Bugg's side? Oh, I knew you were on Delaney's side. Get a fucking grip. I haven't thought about that fucking incident until you popped up on my fucking TikTok. I was like, huh. I at least hope they're okay. And here's you holding on to drama from fucking COVID. So here's what I want you to do. Because this is my last remnant and last message. One, I hope you're living your best life. But I sincerely hope. Sincerely. Because I know okay. One of your main fucking things is horoscopes and stars and signs. Alright, I know 3 fucking Scorpios who do not hold on to grudges as much as you do. And I know you're a cusp. And I got a Sagittarius placement like you do. I do not hold grudges like that. It is not healthy. You need to make it like Elsa and let it go. And it's sad when I sincerely think you owe this group of men a fucking apology. You owe that lovely person an apology. And normally, I have like a lesson at the end of the video. Hey guys, you know what the lesson at the end of the video is? Don't be like this person. That's sincerely my lesson at the end of the video. If you hold a grudge like that, it is fucking unhealthy. Psychology courses and all. Coming from someone who has gone through therapy, has gone to better myself, has done shit to do things to fix myself, I think you should look inward and say, maybe I'm the fucking problem. Because that's a problem. And my personal message? Nova, do yourself a favor. Keep my name out your fucking mouth. I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to see you. I definitely don't want to be your friend. And obviously, neither do any of these people. I'm not trying to be no hero, and I don't want to be their friends or acquaintances either. I'm living my best life. I'm just drawing, playing D&D, doing my thing. I'm off in La La Land. I'm not even associating with half of these different groups. I'm still friends with some people. But I'm at least hoping these people are living their best lives. I mean, I occasionally check in with some people, be like, hi, Merry Christmas, Merry Chrysler. But do yourself a favor. Get a grip. Literally get a grip. Excuse my unhinged rant at the end of this video. And I know this video is a lot longer than my usual ones, considering it's running into 30 plus minutes. So yeah, this is your lesson for today. Holding grudges is not healthy. Alright? Alright. And trust me, considering that this has been over the span of, yeah, from 2015, 10 years plus, it's not healthy. This is like worse than a blood feud. I'm putting this pen down before I click it more. So, remember kids, grudges aren't healthy. Live your best life. Spite your enemies. And don't even think about them. I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm gonna try and make better videos now that I have more time and I'm down to get my schedule situated. I'm gonna try to stream more. Keyword try. It's a little hard, considering recent motivations have not been the best. But hey, I'm trying. We're all human. Yeah. So do your guys' selves a favor and, yeah, behave. Toodaloo.